everyone, this is Jen. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to wrap up the last video in our series of the top 20 paper craft videos of 2020. And to do that, what we're going to do is talk about scraps and leftovers, that projects you can do to use those up. So the first thing that you can do is if you go to the Dollar Tree, or I'm sure the craft store, you can buy these large gems, $4. And then all I do is grab my 1-inch punch and I will punch out some circles with the punch. So as long as you have at least like a 1-inch strip of paper left over, you can punch a whole bunch of these. You take one of these gems, put down just a dot of glue, just a little bit, kind of rub it in a little bit. And then you're going to lay your paper on whatever side you want. Sorry, my hat's probably in the way. Okay, so whatever side you want to see, you're going to lay it down. And you're just going to press it down and leave it like that. Now, when I turn it over right now, it looks kind of cloudy and stuff because of the glue. Now, the glue is going to dry clear and you won't see that. So I did that on this one as well. Punched out a little glittery bird, and you can't tell where the glue is. So once this is set, I let it dry. You can use some Mod Podge and go over the top of it to seal it so that the paper is sealed. You can make your own Mod Podge by using a little bit of glue and a little bit of water and mix in. You don't need that much at all to go over the backs of these. Excuse me. So once that's dried, then pretty much it's done. You can find you a magnetic piece. I have these rolls of magnets, and I thought that it was going to be heavy enough. I cut a little piece off, and I put on the back of this one, and the magnet is not heavy enough, or not strong enough to keep this on my refrigerator. So I know they make circle magnets that are a little bit stronger, so I would suggest getting those. So I'm going to have to go get some of those. But I've made these before, and you know, whether you use them, give them as gifts, or sell them at craft fairs, whatever the case is, they're very inexpensive to make, and they're pretty popular. So that's one thing you can do with your scraps. Another thing you can do is clothespins. So these can be used for a variety of things. You can use them for chip clips. You can use them for refrigerator magnets to hold notes, to hold papers. A variety of different uses. So I went and got a pack. I don't know how many there were. This and this at the Dollar Tree for $1. And cut strips of paper. These strips are 2 3/4 by 1/4 inch wide. So all we do for that is put some adhesive on the back side of that strip. And then you just lay your piece down on here just like that. I don't seal these. I just leave them like they are, just like this. And then for the back, I cut off a piece of my strip magnet. And it has an adhesive back, but it's not that strong. So I'm going to use some hot glue and just lay down a small little strip of some hot glue so that my magnet has something to stick to. We'll stick down the magnet, and all right, so then there's that. If you wanted to package these up for gifts or for a craft fair, what you can do is this piece here is like 1.5 inches by 2.5. So you would just take your clothespins, clip them on here like this. You're going to put them in the bag. And this bag is, I think, like 3 by 5, something like that. I'm not going to lie to you, this is a little bit tight. I also got these bags at the Dollar Tree. And they're not bad, but they're super duper thin. So I'm used to getting bags at like Hobby Lobby and Michael's and ordering them off at, you know, online places. But I thought, hey, they're $1 at the Dollar Tree. I'll go ahead and get a pack. So anyways, this will go in there, I promise. Same bag, I did it over here. So once you get it in, this topper piece here is 3 by 3. I scored one of the sides in half at 1.5. So Looks like this. Grabbed my corner rounder, rounded the corners of the bottom part, and then once you get your clothespins in, you can put this over the top, put a staple in it, and then here you go. You can put a cute little label on it, a sticker, whatever you want. And like I said, you can give them as gifts, or you can sell them at craft fairs. So we have the gem magnets, we have these clothespins, and now we're going to talk about bookmarks. These are super duper popular. Whether you give them as gifts or sell them at craft fairs, they're super easy to do. Mine usually measure 1 3/4 wide by 6 inches tall. Okay, and then I try to get it to where it's the same on both sides. So essentially you need a piece of paper or cardstock, and you can use either one for this, paper or cardstock. So you need a 6-inch by 3.5 inch piece of paper. All right, and that may not necessarily be a scrap, or it might be. You could use also the small paper pad or the paper stacks. Great for this kind of project. So for example, this piece here was something I had left over. I used my 1-inch punch here to punch out the little bitty bird, and I put it on the magnet. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my trimmer, and I'm going to cut this in half at 6 inches. And then for this piece, I'm going to cut it off, just bring it over to my trimmer and cut it off so that that piece is cut off. And then figure out, what do I have? So right now I have a piece that is about, let's cut it so it's even, so it's easy to actually score. I'm going to go to 2 1/4. So we have a piece that's 2 1/4 by 6 here. And then this piece, I'm going to do the 3.5 by 6, like I talked about before. And we'll get ready. And you can save this. You can use it for something as well. Sometimes you get to where you know you're not going to use it, and so I will throw away some scraps. But all right, so let's get out the scoreboard here. You can do this without the scoreboard if you want to score it in half, but for me it's a lot easier to do it this way. So since my piece is 2 1/4, I'm going to score it at 1 1/8 because that would be half. I'm just going to fold it over. And this is the bookmark. Now, if you fold it over and you have a little bit of white showing or something that you don't want, you can stick it back on the trimmer and just trim off the edge there so that it's even. All right. So this one was 3.5. We're going to score it 1 3/4 and fold it in half. And sometimes it doesn't look like it's coming out exactly right, but like I said, you can stick it on the trimmer. I'm going to go ahead and grab the trimmer. Stick it on the trimmer and just line it up. And just cut it off so that it's all even like that. I'm going to do the same thing on that smaller one. Just bring it over here and let's see. Just so that we can barely trim the edge of it up. See if I can get it to lay down. I don't know if I can get it to lay down, but here. So I'm going to go ahead, and I do this anyways. I lay some adhesive down to close the sides. So let me go ahead and do that. So I just put some adhesive on the inside. I'm going to line this up at the 1-inch mark and then just try to close it down, trim that off, and then. So now it is a skinny bookmark, but you can still use it. It would still be just fine. All right. I go ahead and put some adhesive down. And you don't really need a lot of adhesive because, and you could just leave it just like this, okay? You could have a bookmark, punch a hole in it, put some ribbon on it, and that's great. Here's how I finish mine out. I actually go ahead and I go around all my corners and I round them, okay? So you have something that looks like this. And then I have a laminator. So I laminate most of my bookmarks. So I'll stick it through the laminator. It'll come out like this. And then I'll punch a hole in the top of it. I have a rivet tool here, which puts the little embellishment like this through there. So I'll put that on, and then I'll put some ribbon on and attach it like that. You could stamp these. You could personalize them. You could do so many things to them. But if you have some scraps laying around, or you want to do just a fun, quick project or a nice little gift, this is one of those projects. So obviously I have many of them. As you can tell, some of them I haven't finished out yet with the rivets and the ribbons, but I have made so many of them. These, I actually had some tall pieces of paper, tall skinny pieces left over. So I made some just tall. Now see, on this one I didn't round the corners, so this is just a rectangle, strictly rectangle. This one, for whatever reason, I rounded the top and not the bottom. So, you know, you can do whatever you want. Make them whatever shape you want and decorate them however you want. Okay, guys, so just a couple ideas on things you can do with your scraps, leftover small pieces, bookmarks. You can jazz up some clothespins, and you can make some little magnets with your gems. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.